Okay, welcome back to our next session, which we are going to begin now. But before that, I would like to do the revision of what we did in our last chapter, last session. We studied about digitally empowered entrants and how it has impacted different sectors. And which were these different sectors? It was retail industry, it was transport and logistics, then manufacturing and IT services. Then it was, and in manufacturing and IT services, I have given you the examples also of BJSA Healthcare and how it has invented the radio frequency identification technology and how it has been used to identify the information on a tag attached to a product of healthcare suppliers. So previously everything was done manually, which was very much time consuming, and now it is all with the technology. It has reduced the amount of stock which is kept on site, so it has helped the inventory. Then we have studied about education sector, how it is impacted, financial services, healthcare also was a big thing. The digitization had made the patients easier to maintain the history. It has helped the doctors and has informed about their patients' medical history in every situation. How AI is implemented, then IoT, then telemedicine. I have discussed about. The next point was on broadcasting and media, how from buying a newspaper to opening a news app on your tablet, from retaining a DVD to streaming your favorite television series on a smart TV, from buying a cookbook to getting customized recipe suggestions on your smartphone. It's undeniable that digital transformation of the media industry has already begun. So this is all about, we talked about in digitally empowered entrance combining online and offline interaction. Then I discussed about blending style with substance, the new customer path, right? And which were the things which we discussed? Electronic commerce in that, B2B models, B2C models, then consumer to consumer models, app store, online advertising, cloud computing. These were the points which we discussed in that. Then I discussed about IDA model. Which was IDA model? Attention, interest, desire, action. Elmo Elvis designed this model to describe the customer path. And I gave you the example also about attention and how the time span, the stages of the processes about the buying is different. So what is the difference between the wants and the need? If I want something, I don't care, I can buy it immediately if I have money. And even if I have money, my buying process can be delayed. I gave you the examples of cars. Then we discussed about 4A's to 5A's. 4A's to 5A's, that is aware, appeal, ask, act, and which is the new one which has been added, which was advocacy. Okay. So we discussed about these different things in our model of IDA. And then we discussed about the O3, that is the ozone. Ozone, we discussed about PAR and BAR also before that. PAR and BAR, that is the purchase action ratio and brand advocacy ratio. Purchase action ratio helps companies to convert brand mindfulness into purchases, and that is the translation rate from aware to act. And you can calculate PAR as the number of percentage of people in the market who purchase your brand. And BAR means brand advocacy ratio, which helps companies turn brand consciousness into brand advocacy. So you can calculate BAR as the number or the percentage of people in the market who constantly recommends your brand to other people. So PAR and BAR are the best measurements for return on marketing investment that we study. And O3, that is about the external inspiration which comes from outer sources. like advertising, marketing, communications, etc. Then guidance or other people, that is the second O, other people, also comes from your external output, like your friends, your relatives, or your dialogues you see and you do with your social networking platforms. And the third one, personal knowledge, that is your own knowledge, that is the next O. Okay, so O3, through browsing your own knowledge about the product, about the last, about your past experiences, and ultimately your own individual experience, own individual preference. So outer influence often reaches the customers first, which I had told you. If a brand successfully generates conversation with outer influence, it is usually followed by what? Others influence. Correct, no? So ultimately, the way these two sources of influence network will shape customers' own influence. That's what we studied. So it must be remembered here that the customer path is subject to all three types of inspiration at the same time, only in different proportions. Right? Now we are going to study about, this was about in the past chapter, past session, what we studied. Now today we will begin with brand differentiation based on human to human touch. Brand differentiation based on human to human touch. In a world where everything is digital, how do you keep human to human touch with customers? And why does it matter? And that's what we are going to look today. As our technology has advanced, the interaction between brands and consumers have multiplied. So now being personal is how you stand out from the crowd. If you're going to be personal, how are you going to stand out from the crowd? Now being personal is how you stand out from the crowd and let your customers know what you are about. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut in this, and there is no shortage of competition in the digital age. It no longer just about who can offer the cheapest price, but it also matters that who can offer the best customer service and experience. So your ability to connect with the customer on the personal level is extremely crucial. Take a look at the same some of the reasons why human touch matters. Let's take a look at it. More than 75% customers cite that they love the brand because of the helpful customer service. I remember that shop because the salesperson was so helpful. More than 90% of consumers stay loyal to the brands that share their values. According to the study by Accenture Strategy, most people are choosing companies that stand on important social, environmental, political, cultural issues. So don't be afraid to let your customers know where you stand. If you have some good value attached to your brand, whether it is social, whether it is environmental, whether it is cultural, don't be afraid. Let your customers know about it. Okay. So that is what it is about, brand differentiation. Now, prioritizing customer over the competition. Prioritizing customer over competition. With competition being so fierce, many business owners become too focused on what their competitors are doing rather than focusing on what their customers want. They are so much busy in focusing on what competitors are doing rather than focusing on what customer wants. So your goal should be excellent customer experience, and by doing that you will surpass the competition. There are a lot of factors which goes into it, so you really have to put yourself into customers' shoes and think about what you want from a company you are doing business with. And that's very important. So, important of customer loyalty in the digital world is, says what? Even if you sway consumers from your competitors and convince them to give you a try, turning them to a loyal customer and keeping and keep coming back is a very, very difficult task, is a very, very Herculean task. Let me tell you that. You're swaying away the customers from your competitors. You're convincing them. You're trying to put them back into your loyal list and telling them to come back, do the advocacy is a very difficult task. And in the fast changing digital environment where 1/3 of consumers age between 20 to 32 are quick to drop brands that doesn't meet their expectations. The age groups between 20 to 32, they are quick enough. They can easily drop your brands if they don't meet their expectations. So companies have to be really working hard for it and have to be really on the alert mode always. According to research by Brand Keys, a 7% increase in loyalty can boost lifetime profits per customer by as much as 85%. So Rare Consulting recently found out 86% of consumers said that likability of a brand, 86% of consumers said that the likability of a brand is what drives their loyalty. So creating a wholesome, family-oriented brand can prove more lucrative than investing thousands of pounds in marketing and product development. That is very, very there. So today small businesses are struggling to get their voices heard about the noise of multinational competitors, struggling to catch up and adopt the marketing techniques that has been mastered by digital savvy agencies and companies. And some are struggling to get their brand online in the first place. Correct, no? However, as the big brands continue to innovate and deliver greater value, small business owners need to work harder than ever to keep up and ensure their customers are happy. Their customers are happy, and that's very, very necessary. So which are the 5 ways to keep human touch in digital era? Create memorable experiences that actually last. Keep your social media communication personal and human. Use customer service as a way to get to know your customer. Start a blog and keep it fresh regularly. Let your customer be in. So first we will go for create memorable experiences that actually last. You want consumers to remember their experiences with your brand, and they should think of your brand first for their next buy. Correct? Everybody feels that consumers should remember me first in their next buy. So how then you do it memorable? By offering them surprise gifts that will create a smile on their faces, or you can offer a personal and effective customer service experience, or maintain a unique presence on social media, and so on. Create memorable experiences that last long. Next, keep your social media communication personal and human. Customers don't want to always feel always feel that they are dealing with robots. Customers don't want to always feel like they are dealing with robots. This isn't what customers always want. They want to know who you are and get to know you. Some companies keep humorous touch on social media. Some companies are encouraging their marketing employees to sign their tweets with the name of the person who wrote it. So this allows customers to get a feel for the real people on the ground in your business. That's very important. Okay. So keep your social media communications personal and human. Next, use customer service as a way to get to know your customer. Your customer service team is on the front line of your business. Remember that. Who is in the front line of your business? Your customer service team. So customer want to be listened to, and above all, they want to be treated like a real person with legitimate wants and needs when it comes to their questions or queries. They don't want to be rushed on the calls. You listen to them carefully. If you answer to their queries, they will be loyal to you. Next, start a blog and keep it fresh regularly. Start a blog, keep it fresh regularly. Most companies have their brand values, have their missions, have their goals shared up, but you can also share additional values like how you are working towards customer satisfaction. By doing this, it will make you accountable towards your customers and build confidence through your authority and transparency. There are some great reasons to have company blogs. 2018 research report showed that 80% of business to business customers have increased and 70% of business to companies had a blog. So blog increases your traffic, on your site. A blog makes you appear more trustworthy. It's a way to demonstrate that you are an authority within your industry. So that's very necessary. So start a blog and keep it fresh regularly. Next one, last one, let customer be in. It's not just about being accessible and available. It's also about making customers want to engage with you. You make them feel they play an important role in their brand promotion. Take their suggestions in designing stage of the product. Let your customer feel the ownership of your brand. So let customer be in. Now when I talk about brand positioning, consistency in brand characters. Now brand consistency is the practice of always delivering messages aligned with the core brand values and in the same tone, presenting the same logo, colors throughout your visual brand elements. Followed? So brand consistency is the practice of always delivering the messages aligned with the core brand values and in the same tone, presenting the same logo, colors throughout your visual brand elements. The process of branding is complete only when you have carefully defined and considered these 5 elements. Which are these 5 elements? Which are these? They are promise, position, personality, traits, story, and association. Promise, position, personality, traits, story, and association. So these are the important traits. The process of branding is complete only when you have carefully defined and considered these 5 elements. These 5 elements. Now, brand positioning. What do you mean by that? A brand positioning statement is a description of your product and target audience and explains how it fills a market need. So marketing and sales team use this statement to guide their messaging and make sure all communication is similar, is consistent throughout. Is consistent throughout. Now, positioning statement versus mission statement, I would like to talk about. I would like to talk about what do you mean by positioning statement and what do you mean versus what do you mean by mission statement? A position statement is sometimes confused with a mission statement and value propositions, but there are a very few differences and they are very key differences. Few differences, but key differences. Which are they? Positioning statement used to align messaging on internal teams, though a good positioning statement is often versatile enough to use externally too. So it describes a product and its target consumer and explains how it fills a need in a different way than its competitors. Is positioning. When I talk about one value proposition, value proposition explains what benefits your product provides to your customers. It explains what benefits your product provides to your customers. The value proposition is often used as a part of positioning statement. Followed? And mission statement, public facing tagline or statement identifying your brand strategy. Mission statement. Clear? That is the difference which are. Now coming to the concept. This concept is closely linked with the brand positioning. Now, first, it is important to establish strong equity. A brand must have a clear and consistent positioning as well as authentic set of differentiation to support the positioning. Correct? I have given you the difference between services marketing and product marketing. In that I had explained you the difference between the 4 P's and why it is necessary to have 7 P's also. Which are the 4 P's and which are the 7 P's. So you can relate this with that example. I had given you the case study of Tata Nano, the failure of the product of the Tata Nano because of the positioning was done wrong, and the success of Honda Activa. Correct? Because all 4 P's were perfectly marketed. Positioning also was excellent. So you can relate, different examples when you talk about even one point. So it is necessary to establish strong equity. A brand must have a clear and consistent positioning as well as authentic set of differentiation to support the next point in that is brand positioning is essentially a compelling promise that marketers convey to win the customer's mind and hearts. Marketers' moral responsibility is to fulfill that promise with a solid and concrete differentiation through its marketing mix. If it is services, then all 7 P's should be considered. If it is product, 4 P's should be considered. Due to the rise in social media brands, brands can be challenged. So companies have to strongly position to develop community-driven consensus. They have to be always on alert zone. Example I have given here is Apple. If it is exclusivity, luxury, and elegance, then this is Apple for you. The brand dominates the technology front, and in fact, the other product positioning in marketing company campaigns use this positioning as a basis for their product. So their services, products, and websites depict their strong brand positioning. Apple is a good example. Another example which I can quote here is Amazon. The leading e-commerce store is nowhere left behind when it comes to brand positioning. The relationship that the brand has with its customers to take shopping to an altogether new level is what drives its brand positioning. Correct? Agility in delivery, low prices, and freedom to like or dislike the products gives the brand a big thumbs up. Gives the brand a big thumbs up. So this is what about the brand positioning which I have discussed here. Coming to the next slide. Brand character. Your brand character is like the personality of your brand. Clear? Your brand character is like the personality of your brand. People purchase things from brands they like and relate to it really just that simple. If people don't have a clear sense of you, they're just gonna keep on scrolling. Correct? They're not aware of your brand, they're going to keep on scrolling. Some brands are serious or even somber, and some are whimsical, fun, or playful. So some brands are youthful and some are like oldies. So when the core of the brand remains true to its root, the outer imaginary can be flexible. Outer imaginary can be flexible with disruptive technologies, shorter product life cycle, and rapidly changing trends. a brand must be dynamic enough to behave in certain ways in certain situations. What should remain consistent, however, are the brand characters and brand codes. Are you getting my point? This is very, very important in your brand character. I can give example here, which is of Nike brand, It has an active lifestyle, inspirational, exciting, cool personality. So Nike as a person would be exciting. Nike as a person would be proactive. Nike as a person will be spirited, cool, innovative, aggressive, and into healthcare and fitness. Right? He must be into health and fitness. So since the 1980s, Nike has been endorsing the very best athletes across a wide variety of sports. So what the brand shows here? The brand shows competence, the brand shows accomplishments, and is very influential. It is highlighted by leadership. So now we will discuss the importance of brand characteristics. What are they? Loyalty is there, awareness is there, and higher sales and profits. Okay, loyalty, the unique and exclusive characteristics of the brand create an emotional connection with the target audience that makes them indulge in the repeat purchases, resulting in the loyalty towards the brand and its offering of products and services. Here, awareness, making customers aware of their brands, promotions, as we discussed, like prints, advertisements, television commercials, and use of digital marketing and social media. So thereby increasing the awareness of the brand. Higher sales and profits with the increased level of brand awareness, showcasing its unique characteristics in the target market that results in the top of the mind recall factor about the brand and its offering in the mind of the consumers, making them indulge in the repeat purchases. And hence, the company attains its objective of higher sales and profits. Clear? Clear very much? Great. Coming to the next slide. Now we will see from selling 4 P's to 4 C's. Which are these 4 C's? Communication, wants and needs, cost, convenience, communication. Simple. The 4 P's, which refers product, price, place, promotion, the 4 P's, which refers to product, price, place, promotion, have remained relevant even as market industry itself has evolved. The 7 P's of marketing were established by Bernard H. Booms and Mary J. Bittner, as you all know. These two researchers recognized that 4 P's ignored customer service, which they considered to be an essential aspect of any marketing strategy. So the bonus P's that were added were the people, process, and physical evidence. Now this brings us to the final strategy, the 4 C's of marketing, which were created by Robert F. Lotharbone in 1990. Each of these 4 elements are an adaptation. Each of these 4 elements are an adaptation of the related P's: product, consumer value; price, cost; place, convenience; promotion, communication. Simple. Very, very simple. Consumer wants and needs. Consumer wants and needs. This element is similar to the first P, product. Now let's first understand the difference between a want and a need. I hope you all know the difference, but still let me explain quickly. A need is something thought to be necessary or essential items required for life. Example includes food, water, shelter. A want is something unnecessary, but desired or items which increase the quality of living. Example include, see, a watch, a designer cloth, or a car stereo. Examples I'm giving. So the biggest difference here is that Lockwood believes that extensive consumer research needs to be done to understand if there is a need or a demand of this new product. Is the product needed or it is demanded? If there is, then how will the product or service best serve it? So the wants and the needs of the customer should drive the creation of a new product, app, or service. Clear? So now we will see here how product becomes customer solution. Nowadays, what happens with instant access to information? Business should invest in thorough market research. When planning your products, you also have to determine how can you provide solutions to your customers. If there is a problem which is arrived after taking a particular product, you should have an answer to it. You should have a solution for it. So this way, you are not only marketing your product, but you are also giving solutions to their needs. Clear? When it comes to cost, second C, Lotharbon believed that the word cost should be replaced by price. According to him, cost is not just the price of the product. Cost is not just the price of the product, but it also includes opportunity cost, the loss of potential gain from an alternative, or even the customer's time spent to obtain the item. So he insisted that the amount isn't the only cost a consumer worries about when making a purchase. If the customer is traveling to a shop, so much time he is investing on the fuel, on the money. Okay, so all these factors needs to be taken into account. Convenience, place here has been replaced by convenience. The effort a customer should make to purchase a wanted or a needed product should be availed at different stores at different points. So marketers should do good visual promotions for customers' convenience. So do you have an online store or do you have a home delivery? What is additional cost of delivery? Is the shop near? So no hassles of parking. All these factors needs to be considered. So these are all the questions which needs to be answered in order to offer your customer the good customer experience. So remember here that the user journey and user experience are important than ever. User experience and user's journey are important than ever. So make sure that your path to purchase is as easy and simple as possible. Clear? Then is communication. In Lotharbon's option, promotion is manipulative, while communication is cooperative. Promotion is manipulative, while communication is cooperative. An honest dialogue between the brand and consumer was thought to be the best, as opposed to traditional marketing strategy, which highlight a product's best qualities that can be sometimes deceiving. So the communication promotes constructive feedback, questions, and user-generated reviews. Follow? In this, so modern marketing has become a two-way conversation. Modern marketing has become two-way conversation. So what here has happened? Modern marketing has become a two-way conversation between the brands and their stakeholders. You need to start listening to the customers, what they are saying about you on a social, what help or information they require. How can you work with them towards a mutually beneficial solution? See here, you have to understand consumers' decision, and they are based on engagement with your brands and with their own communities. So be creative, engage your customers, interact with them, and that's how you can gain trust and loyalty towards your brand, thereby adding value to both parties. Make sure you consistently listen to your audience and adjust your message accordingly. So we have seen here that marketing mix is the backbone of every business plan. Each tool influences the other and plays a critical part in mix that deserves a complete understanding before progress can be made. That's how we have completed our session and our second chapter. Um, so the likely questions which can be asked is different technologies that drive, what are the different technologies that drive the digital economy, explain the difference between, explain the difference based on human to human touch, then blind clarification of character and codes. The short notes can be asked on your IDA model, 4Ps to 4Cs, O3, that is ozone, driving from awareness to advocacy, blending style with substance. So these are the various questions which can be asked. So with this, I'm ending my session here. Thank you very much.